Welcome, Taurus. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your new moon in Libra reading. New moon in Libra on the 21st of the month is focusing on your ruling planet Venus, ruling both Libra and Taurus. And the day following, the sun moves into Scorpio and Neptune moves back into Pisces. So all of this energy is really helping us focus on our spiritual values, on the way in which we are renewing ourselves, refreshing our relationships, and the way that we share who we are becoming. And I pulled a talisman oracle, the Union. And I will read from the Talisman Oracle guidebook about union to get us started. This card represents unity, wholeness, and fulfillment. Harmony can arise from forces that can be seen as opposite, yet they are interconnected, and they work to complement each other. This card can represent friendship, teamwork, or partnership. It's not essential to master every talent, skill, or knowledge, because unity, like like-minded people, can bring the best end results. This card teaches us to trust others in their area of expertise. The heavy weight of responsibility can be divided, and the celebration of success is much sweeter when it is shared. Use this card to strengthen the bond in a friendship or partnership. So this energy is highlighted by the overall energy of this reading, the 10 of Wands. This is you releasing a set of responsibilities that you recognize is no longer yours. You have fulfilled an entire cycle or obligation towards others. You have fulfilled their expectation of your job, your responsibility, your tasks, and you are frankly exhausted through the effort of providing the needs of others. In that same way, you may be recognizing that although these values and responsibilities were necessary in whatever situation you were in, you no longer share those responsibilities or obligations at this time. This is old beliefs, old tasks, old provisions that you've been making, and that you are releasing those and reorienting yourself through this release to change and prioritize yourself in a healthy way. Underneath, the Three of Pentacles is describing this collaboration, a form of union. You're working with other experts to achieve something, to build something that you believe is excellent, beautiful, based on a lot of experience. This is something you are creating that is a resource, a tool for others, something that they can easily access, see, or enjoy. So the process itself is a healing process. Collaboration requires you to step back and learn from others and step forward to lead in sharing your expertise as appropriate. So this is a dance of respecting the talents and skills of others as you are being respected in this collaboration. In the present time, we have the High Priestess. This is the part of you that understands, and this is resonating as the energy of Venus very strongly. This is understanding your value, understanding the tremendous experience you've had in particular regard that underscores your talents, your strengths, your skills, your natural gift. And you've had so much vast experience. You've gathered a wisdom from this self-knowledge. It's one that you keep for yourself. And that is the ways in which you are now open to love, open to renewing or re-engaging in relationships that perhaps were a struggle in the past, perhaps were full of a lot of work difficulty, always an uphill battle, never feeling that your needs were attended to while you were tending to the needs of others. So you are reclaiming your rightful position here as sovereign onto yourself. In the past, the Ace of Wands, beautiful energy. This is, I believe, where you began something new. As you were releasing this old set of responsibilities or obligations, these burdens, you were following a new star. You were inspired anew. Perhaps you re-engaged a skill, a talent, or a gift that you had, and you are beginning to explore that in ways that are lighting you up, inspiring you, and exciting others. You're motivating others through your example of joy, discovery, and pursuing your spiritual truth, your justice. In the future, the Six of Wands is showing the victories that you are gaining as a result of this changed strategy, this way in which you only take on the responsibilities that benefit you in the context of a community. You're already committed to being a part of a team, being a part of a relationship, a partnership, some kind of union. And on that basis, no longer on the basis of providing for others without receiving the reciprocity that you would expect. You are simply doing your part so beautifully, so well, so successfully that others are inspired, are acknowledging you, are recognizing you. And that is what is worth. The regard of others is completely giving you something you felt that you lacked in the past. Perhaps when you gave to others in the past, they didn't acknowledge you or recognize you or appreciate you. That is changing now. You are being seen and recognized for the part you play in something important to an entire community, group, organization, team. I'm going to clarify the past, present, and future with Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas tarot cards. I'll also pull an oracle at the end of this reading. If this reading is resonating with you, for you, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I appreciate all the support that you give me. Thank you in advance for that. So I'm going to clarify the Ace of Wands in the past with the Five of Potions and the Seven of Presents. This is the Five of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles. You know, a lot of people have been getting this card, and there's a part of me that really understands this energy. Woe is me is the energy, doom and gloom. Nothing ever works out for me. My life is a failure. My relationships have all broken me and disappointed me. And I'm just full of sadness as I feel the regret, the remorse of woulda, coulda, shouldas. The beauty of this card is that you have already identified your part in any failures or disappointments you've experienced. You already have seen a pattern in your relationships, particularly your broken relationships, and you are now seeing your part in that. And because of that, you are releasing, surrendering these emotions of the past that are helping you to shed these experiences. Better understanding what the triggers were, what motivated you to pick the same thing over and over again, knowing what the outcome would be. And so this is a part of this new embrace. This is a part of making space for this new embrace and your ability to say, what am I working for? How have I invested in myself? And how do I want to invest in myself moving forward? What steps can I take to improve on the effort I make? How can I work less and earn more? This is about looking at your strategies, recognizing that you were stuck for a long time in the sadness, but you did the work to move yourself incrementally out of that space so that you hold responsibility for your reality in a way that feels good and yet continues to be open to new ideas, new ways to protect yourself and to grow your abundance. In the present, the High Priestess is clarified by the Tower card and the Strength card. Wow, this is beautiful. This feels like a lot of unexpected experiences. Something that you relied on, you thought would always be there, even if it didn't fulfill your expectations, has collapsed, has disappeared, has taken an unpredictable turn. And that has, in some ways, shattered many of the illusions of the past, that whatever that was, whoever that was the authority, was the gold standard, was something that you measured your life around, something you hoped for. And you now see the release of that as a liberation from some illusion you held. And the Strength card just shows that you've had to be strong, because it feels as though you have been let down time and time again. You've been disappointed consistently, if not by one particular person or relationship, by other relationships. And yet you have persevered because you had to, but you didn't have to. And that's what you're acknowledging. You didn't have to persevere. You didn't have to change. You could have stayed in that illusion, stayed sad, stayed angry, but you did change. You are understanding that you're in a position to choose how you want to feel and what you want in your life. It is in your hands. So this is highlighting a little bit of how we hold on sometimes to a goal if it gets us through a difficult time. And then the time comes when that false illusion, that goal, is seen to be unworthy of our effort. And we still move forward with a sense of belief and faith in ourselves, if not in the thing we once believed in. So that inner strength is what gives you the ability to rise beyond your instinctual attractions, or the chemistry you once shared, or the illusion of pie in the sky, and to move forward with faith in who you are, as you are enough. In the future, the Six of Wands is clarified by the Four of Needles, that's the Four of Swords, and the King of Potions, the King of Cups. The maturity here has kicked in, is kicking in, as you are distancing yourself away from a habitual way that you tried to please others, tried to take care of others. You are learning that that is not helpful to you, absolutely, but it's also not helpful to others. Gaining your own integrity, your own sense of strength, your own purpose, that inner emotional intelligence and wisdom is the model that you now understand has more influence than doing everything for everybody. The Four of Needles means that the Four of Swords, that this has been long and hard revelation, that you have been challenged over and over again, and it has flattened you. It has taken everything out of you, and you have needed to retreat. For those of you that have given yourself that space, however fleeting it may be, but just the knowledge that you need your own space and private time to be with yourself, are benefiting the best, are benefiting the most, I should say. Because ultimately, what you recognize is that every challenge was a gift, something you learned from, something that showed you who you were. And that you, instead of being angry, sad, or hostile about things that didn't work out in the past, you're now grateful for what you learned from those experiences. And that is the basis from which you are moving forward as a mature but still vulnerable person. And that vulnerability is so important right now. This is the power to risk everything for love, for something that you value, for something you're passionate about. And you would not be who you were, who you are, if you didn't have the ability to risk. The saying, those who have loved and lost it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. And that's really where you're coming to emotionally, recognizing how much wiser, more compassionate, a better counselor, support, friend, listener you are as a result of what you've been through. I'm going to finish this reading with the Seed and Sickle Oracle and hope that you've received some insight along the way here. And I pulled the Basil card, number 24, which reduces to a number 6. And that is the Lover's card, where we're making a choice, where we've learned to discriminate between the easy feel-goods and long-term benefit. So this can relate to the way in which you have taken care of others. Isn't it sometimes easier to simply do something for someone who seems clueless than it is to allow them to do it for themselves? But ultimately, it may be better to let them do it for themselves. And this comes to mind the way we try to support and nurture our children. And Basil reads, you're due to set out on a journey, but be it physical or spiritual, so be ready for a change in your life. In Italy, pots of basil are left on windowsills to indicate that guests are welcome, and in Tudor England, basil was given as a gift to ensure safety while traveling. Drawing this card suggests that you're inviting in a change of scenery. Be sensible about your decisions, and your feet will lead you safely where you need to go. Thank you, Taurus. If you've enjoyed this content, there's more content here for you to check out. Thank you for your likes and subscribes. And until next time, namaste.